But Adara and I, Obi and I, will see you same bat time, same bat channel on Monday. Take care.
Hey guys, yeah, welcome to the final 2 hours of the trading week here as we head towards the weekend on what's turning into another pretty red day here. I mean, the NASDAQ's still a little ways to go, but S&P is red and has been for a better part of a couple of hours here now. Crude oil, meanwhile, back to day highs, about 3% on the session. There you go. Nice little push there back towards 85, 80, 86, more Middle East headlines driving a lot of things this afternoon, including energy markets, but individual energy names, it's worth noting. There was a note on Israel that came out around this time. It's interesting to see a lack of participation even in some of the individual stocks this afternoon. Volume across the board down significantly. One that has decent volume I was reading about during lunchtime is this one. TSLL is a 1.5 times bear Tesla ETF. So 1.06% here for Tesla Bear ETF. This thing's done 11 million shares on the day, has all kinds of liquidity, and is, I'm sorry, it's not a bear, Sean, my apologies. It's a bull ETF. As I said, 11 million shares, there you go. 11 million shares on the day and is very, very liquid, so easily tradable. But just reading about how it's structured. A ton of assets under management there as well. Amazon 7% coming off their earnings report. The other one down here, Intel 9.3% coming off their earnings report. Everything else kind of mixed, mostly downside. Banks, healthcare stocks, utilities. That's what I was mentioning here. Look at energy. I mean, all of these downside when, as you saw there, oil 3% to the upside. So interesting day as far as counter movement in some areas is concerned. Meta, nice day. Microsoft, Oracle. It's really just tech holding things up. Tesla, Comcast, nice day coming off their report. Some of the healthcare names, as I mentioned, pretty weak to get going here this afternoon. That's how the S&P 500 is looking on the daily chart. We're creeping back into, if you zoom out a little bit, we're creeping back into some significant levels here as far as this pullback is concerned, which officially crossed, I don't know if anyone mentioned it or discussed it, officially crossed correction territory as of the close yesterday for both the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, more than 10% now off that July high. Where was that? Yeah, 458.91 up there for the S&P. So anyway, let's get into a few things that we were discussing. We'll do a little bit of a review as we do every single afternoon to kick things off. It was all about some of the tech names this morning, both Amazon and Intel with better than expected numbers, better than expected reports still holding on to. Nice day here for Amazon, up 6 and change.
Oh, what's up, everybody? It's great to be back live with everybody as we hold on to NASDAQ trying to be up on the day. It's up 0.29 right now. We've got a 1-in-1 over here, but it's definitely felt like a much bearish action on the day today. You know what? Now that we have it up here, Amazon, I'm just going to go back and look at this, and I gave it to Sharif, and I know that my guy over here is all about it as well. Of course, that's you, Obi. Looking at Amazon here today, and I mean 130 short. We wrote it down.
Yep.
Like we wrote that down, and yet we even discussed it on here why we liked Amazon short. Even explained it even.
Yep.
You know, and then I go over here. I don't even have a trade on Amazon today, but that's fine, right? Because if I'm going to follow my rules on the sticky note, you know, and only trade levels that I talked about, well, then Amazon probably didn't get to 130, so it's fine because I didn't. Yeah, well. There's Amazon. The high of the day is 130.02 right there. Nailed the level. We talked about being patient, waiting for it. We also did talk about trading in the range, and I think that's what you're going to talk about a little bit here. It was so choppy until eventually this happened. So I feel like a lot of us today are going to be really frustrated in the way that this market's been treating every trader, whether or not you're going long or short or whatever you're doing. I feel like today it's been definitely a frustrating day for traders. So I'm frustrated to miss that Amazon, but at least we hit it the right way. And I was actually speaking to some traders about this as well, and including yourself, Obi. And it's just like, you hit the right levels. That's what matters, because today's trade is today's trade, right. And it's just about being right, being confident when you have the right direction, and then making the trade accordingly. And I feel like I'm fine with the research that I did and with everything. I mean, we are right now getting hit downside on Google with this short. We're going to talk about Google soon. No, we are not. But here we go. We are now 40 cents in the money on this trade back in for Google. I have a bid here. I'm just going to put a bid now at 27. Let's go on that one. And I just was actually talking with Dan and Dan Emmons there, and I was like, yeah, look at this, like just scalping back and forth. Just, you know, not doing anything here with Google except for putting on tons of trades and getting out. All these purple ticks, of course, are shorts, and this is the lowest we've been. So yes, sir, back on the air has its benefits. We get the market to go back down here as we head to 2 o'clock. And look, I think it's just been a really choppy day. Anybody that's green today, I think, has done quite well. My best stock is still Intel, and we'll get to that next.
Yeah, Amazon definitely a little choppy there. I got clocked out. I'll be real. I got clocked out. I was too aggressive on this. You guys saw how aggressive I was on the short on the front side, and then I kind of switched to the long when the backside came in, and I did fight it into this market quadunk where Amazon kind of teeters in and around. Some interesting price action here at that 129.75 got me a little tripped up, but yeah, I'm definitely a little tilted that I did not catch that 130. We talked so much about that 130 and zero patience on my part, and yeah, pretty much getting shut down on the day, trying to push a bias on a ticker and getting tilted and not having stops. And so clearly a lot to improve on my part, but definitely we talked about some of those key levels, so let's talk about them again. We said that how it was strong in the morning, so I think it's fair that we have one bull and one bear, because the morning was pretty bullish. And it seems like the afternoon, after we tested some of these tops, we're reclaiming a lot of these levels. And as you can see how heavy both the ES and the NQ are, kind of coming right back in through kind of these range levels. We talked about this potentially holding. It never did. We grabbed the top, and then we came right back down into the lows. And then the ES, much more cleaner. We talked about that 4,200 roughly area from yesterday, and then we were just fading off of yesterday's levels as well. So you know what, it is what it is. I will be trading in TMS there, Sean. So we're just trying to get some good reps in from now on. And good. Yeah, a lot of reviewing to do on this trade. Clearly Amazon day one, I talked about how I try to stay away. I'm going to try to stay patient, but it's something I'm working on. Clearly I don't have it down pat, and that's just something to improve on. But Amazon, solid move off of earnings, yes, extremely choppy indeed. But if you waited patiently for some of these levels we talked about, I think you would have been sitting pretty on Amazon for sure.
All right, let's talk some Intel here, kind of shopping around as well. It's been one of those days. As the guys were mentioning, really nice opportunity out of the gate this morning, though, off of that report. Even if I don't have all the data on here, I mean, this is just from 6 o'clock in the morning, but obviously a nice move after the close yesterday following the report, and then gapping further this morning. I mean, since 9:45, it's been kind of sideways, but a nice initial push here off this earnings report for Intel.
Yeah, definitely outperforming the market today. No question about that, Brendo. They beat on both the top and bottom line with respect to analyst estimates, but both income and revenue were down year over year. Income fell from 1.02 billion last year to 297 million. Revenue fell 8% year over year on the quarter. And depending on which one of their businesses you look at here, they performed, not that great. Client computing down 3%, data center and AI down 10%, Mobileye up 18%, foundry services up 300%, networking divisions down 32%. So mixed bag.
Yeah, pretty clean if you're looking for that directional move this morning, guys.
We were looking for it, and again, I don't hate to do it, as I do it all the time, but you can see right here on the sticky note, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, it's something that, oh, by the way, tonight, going with my son, Friday night at Freddy's, is that what it's called? You don't know FNAF? Five Nights at Freddy's. Friday night is tonight.
Okay.
Tonight is Friday, right. Five Nights at Freddy's. You don't know that?
I don't know what that is.
And neither do I. But he wants to go, so we're going to go to see that. I feel like I got some eyelashes in here. Okay, so he just mentioned, Brendan mentioned, if you're looking long, then Intel would have been the one for you, right? And we talked about this here. Looking to play a strong name in an up market, right? Let's watch for a dip. Wow. Sean, man, let's watch for a dip buy here. Let's watch for a dip buy here, okay? So let's go over to the stock, see what we did. So here we go. So the market, right off the open, I was like, I'm going to be patient. Remember, I was like, oh, it's 9:32, I'm in. So we had this move back in, came in, dip went into 340, 34.60 there, went up, took out 35, said we would play off that 35 long if it ever came back in. So we did take our first fill, was through 25. Then it came back in and we did play the dip. We got long at 35.11, only to see it go all the way to the upside. That tick right there is 36.16. So we did hit the dollar register right there off Intel. We did try to go short here, which is kind of crazy because I was talking with Obi again about this trade when it came through. And it was just like, I went short here, just trying to go against, basically against 36, but it was more like 35, 85, these kind of tops right there. It does take it out, and then as soon as we got stopped out at 11:30, then it dropped back in. So now let's just zoom this back out and see like what's going on right here. I was debating another short in the same area. Didn't quite get to 36, wanted to give it that full dollar, didn't come in. That full penny up there didn't come in. Now you're hovering back in the 40s. So I still feel like Intel's a short. The market's bleeding. I mean, it is, right? This is going down. You are still up, though, on the day. So I feel like there's a little bit of back and forth here on the market. Obviously, we talked about how choppy it was. And right now, it's choppy off the bottom again, holding that 14.2. For me, I like Intel. I also traded AMD a little bit because chip names. And again, look at these shorts. Remember in the morning, we were just so happy with the performance of shorting here. Well, it was good, but it wasn't fantastic. We got stopped out of the last little bit. Just back and forth, was really holding on for these bigger moves down. When they didn't come in, unfortunately, we just wind up taking too much profit for like 10 cents. So it was fine. Was waiting for a bigger move on AMD. Didn't really get it today. As you could see, AMD basically flat. This opened up at this level. So the market's been a tough one today for sure.
Yeah, I think something interesting to note as well is that, yeah, Intel pretty strong off of these opening prices, but again, still holding on top of this earnings consolidation highs. So we've kind of made this a bit of a double bottom roughly here on top of that 35, yeah. So as long as we stay above this consolidation, I think Intel is pretty decent here. Not really reflective of the rest of the market as the market comes straight down, just like Sean just mentioned. But I think it's very peculiar that we are holding above this this earnings reaction consolidation while the market quadunks to the downside. I think that is to be noted for sure.
All right, let's go on to Tesla here this afternoon. We were touching on it this morning, trying to hold bottom end of the range here, a little bit better off than the rest right now as far as what is happening in the overall market. This was yesterday. I was just reading a little bit more into this. This network that BP is going to create, according to the company anyways, is not necessarily to rival Tesla, I was reading, but it was more they're going to be in areas where Tesla is not yet. So that's their only approach or best approach at this point. But yeah, I mean, there was that, and then we were talking about these price hikes that came through this morning.
Yeah, 2 price hikes, Brendo. One in China, one in the United States. The one in the United States is going to be for the Model Y long range. In China, they're going to increase the price on the performance model, and it's going to be about I would say 14,000 yuan, which is around $1,900. We've been seeing a lot of margin compression lately with price cuts and a lot of CapEx spending, so we'll have to see how it does.
Bouncing off the lows right now for Tesla.
Bit of a double bottom there.
You want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. I mean, that 205, we kind of mentioned this this level a little earlier, kind of yesterday's levels as well. And as you can see, yeah, bit of a bounce there on Tesla coming in right where these buyers showed up in the morning session, right at around 10:30, almost 11 o'clock, 10:45ish, and then you got that VWAP retest. So the fact that we're getting a bit of a bid at that same price is very interesting as well. So yeah, maybe that 14.2 bounce kind of confluencing with this level here on Tesla. But something to note again, we are heavy off of VWAP and we are testing near low of day. So if this kind of this trend continues to the downside, sure, we can break through that 206 level pretty easily. But yeah, no, that double bottom definitely interesting. Maybe that buying pressure can take us potentially back into VWAP, and then we can look for potential sellers there as well. But definitely would need to look for some market tailwind there, Sean.
Yeah, no, all right, so me and Tesla have a little bit of a love-hate relationship on today. Actually, now the market's starting to rally a little bit here, which is good because we've just been taking out some Google. We could talk about that, but we just got it out, some of it out anyways. All right, so we were actually doing quite well on Tesla. We just kept on buying 208s, 209s, and it was working. And we were even talking about it during the midday show as I sit here and try to trade a little bit with Sharif and Adara for a bit and try to give them some different ideas that I'm working on as well. And then honestly, we fought it at 209, it broke out. Put the bid here at 208. It didn't even, I guess it broke, but barely broke out. And then it's just been sort of drifting all the way to the downside. Again, it's just funny that as we go through this, all the top three names, the three big ideas that I have on here are Amazon, Intel, and Tesla. So I keep on referring back to this, and there's that 205 that Obi talked about right here. I just want to double check the price. It is a 205 buy area for me on Tesla. It's where I bought it yesterday in my own private account, my personal long-term account. But again, I just think that if it comes back into this area, why not hold it out? That bottom's 202.50. You know, I mean, to hold the stock 250. Now, to hold the stock at 250 there, I really like that animation, but I think we could get other ones too, like like different ones, like where you have like a bubble coming out of your head and then it just pops and like, you ever watch? You're too young for Nickelodeon, aren't you?
No, I've watched some like Nickelodeon.
But you know that show? They used to have a show where I mean, I guess Nickelodeon's still around, but the slime used to fall on people's heads. Is that a new?
Oh, what was that show? I don't know what it was. Was it on Nickelodeon or was it on YTV?
I think YTV. I think in Canada's YTV.
Yeah. Okay. Because I remember watching that kind of show on YTV.
Teens Choice Award. I guess I haven't watched that.
Yeah.
Or have I?
I remember that.
But yeah, I forget what it's called. Anyways, I'm just thinking like when you have a good idea and then it just dumps on you there.
Yeah.
My kids would really like that one. Anyways, yeah, so today Tesla is a downside move. The only other name on EV land, we did talk about Lucid. This is right here at 16, and when I double check my notes, we also do say that I like Rivian dip buy down here at $16. So this could be a dip buy opportunity right now for Rivian. The reason why I liked it on this was because they got upgraded today. By Piper, I believe. And obviously that upgrade is not hitting the name. So it hit it early. It was up 3 or 4. Was it up 3 or 4%? We closed yesterday 16.15. We opened up today 16.70. Yeah, so a couple percentage points up. I thought a play down there would have given us something on that one. So yeah, bouncing off 16. I think we'll try a baby long just to see if we're going to be right on this one with Rivian, trying to go back up to the upside. Let's try this long right here.
All right, let's touch on Ford. Fabian just said, did that drop just happen on Ford? No, it's been an ugly day. But the big break was, I was zooming out there a little bit, $11, below $11. There's not much in the way of support to talk about for Ford. I mean, this was just one of the highlights coming from their earnings report. They're pausing $12 billion in investment into EVs, among many, many others.
It's at $10 right now, guys. I talked about this on the midday show. There was gargantuan size at $10. So this could be the move here. I don't know. Let's talk about the more fundamental look for the company. They're basically scaling down their expansion into EVs. They're postponing about $12 billion worth of CapEx. They're putting on hold the new campus in Kentucky, but they're going to go ahead with the battery plant in Blue Oval City, Brendo. They lost about $1.3 billion for their Ford, what is it called again? My goodness, I can't remember. Model E. The Model E, that's their division for electric.
Oh, electric, yeah.
Yeah, and they've lost about $3.1 billion year to date. They expect to lose about 4.5 by the end of the year.
Here's GM following suit as well. Again, a daily chart, so 2 in a row here. Downside for GM. This whole area of industry in trouble.
So it actually just, again, this was another name that we were looking for the short, but unfortunately throughout the whole day here, if you come to the chart, I mean, I know Brendan just had it up, but it never bumped. So unfortunately, you would have had to take it in the pre-market. Look at this 200 period moving average, still all the way down, and it, almost touched it there, but still making a move down here for Ford. And here, the reason why I sort of pushed this down, you can see that we do have, you know, a little bit of a level there, but it was not gargantuan there, as Sharif had mentioned. It must have got sort of depleted a little bit, but the low of the day is still $10 right there. The high was 11.35. That's actually, we were looking for 11.20 here off the sticky note, but that never came in, of course. So we were going to try to play off that high. Ford continues to get, I mean, honestly, I'm actually a shareholder in this name, and I don't even know. I said I'd double check the price. I didn't, so I'd have to look at that. Probably don't want to be sick to my stomach. Just quickly here. Okay, now that Google's falling back down, I'm going to take another piece out because I feel like we want to get lighter and lighter on these shorts. But because this is no excuse. I'm supposed to, you know, I need to be trading there. That was a reload right there on Google. Unfortunately, I was talking about Tesla and all that at that time and missed this, but that would have been a good little reload there off VWAP for Google because we're still down, we're nowhere near VWAP on the market, and we're underneath the IB low. So I still do like that trade right there on Google. But yeah, Ford, look, Ford's going to be in trouble for a long time now. And I actually messaged Neil here during the midday, and I was just like, he messaged and was like, Ford, and he did like a little puke emoji there. And the thing is that, yeah, there's no level. And I just messaged him back. I said, dude, there's no levels underneath 10.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Have they done splits before?
No.
So okay. So
no, they did splits. Like, but I'm talking about, like, how far back are you going?
I'm looking at the monthly chart here because I kept on looking further back and further back, and yeah, maybe some split. But I see the low.
1998.
Okay. So this $4 price actually printed on the COVID drop, right?
$4.
$4.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So right here. So yeah, no real prices underneath this. So something very peculiar here. Definitely breaking multi-month. Look at this multi-month shelf. Each of these candles are monthly candles, and take a look at how well we kind of defended just around this $11 area, and we finally kind of break that price. Coming into today, I guess, yeah. Coming into today, we break that $11 price. So that multi-month shelf is brought down by an earnings report and a bit of a catalyst there. Of course, it's been building up into this level as well, and then all of a sudden the floodgates are open through that $11 mark, and we are getting a straight quadrunk to the downside. No real support can be seen until all the way down into 4. Now, I'm sure there's intermediary levels in between if you go and really meticulously look, but we just saw the monthly chart, right? We just saw the monthly chart, and that defense right there. We don't see this kind of a level hold anywhere since that COVID drop in March 2020. So definitely a lot of room to the downside for sure.
I thought you and I talked about this. We're not using words like meticulous and stuff like that. Like words that are a little bit too. Yeah, okay. All right, so just quickly here. This is the Ford weekly chart. So here's what I meant, Obi. We didn't split until 2000. So it goes all the way back to the year 2000 right now, 23 years ago. Here's the $10 mark. So right into here is 10. So this is what I mean by there's your level that you just brought up. Other than that, man, I mean, like, are we stopping at 8, which goes all the way back to 2018? Like, why are we even looking at this? There's no levels below, man. And, you know, you can always data mine. And what I mean by that is that if you're looking for something, you will find something. It's just, you know, why hang your hat on such a random event that happened so long ago for Ford? So we're going to wait to see what does happen. It's a pretty pukey thing right now. What else is pretty pukey is Rivian. The futures are now at day's low. NASDAQ's trying to go the other way, and my Rivian stop out is a couple more pennies low, like basically right here. Break of 98 and we're gone on Rivian, so get ready for that one. It's not looking great here on this horrible long. Brendo?
Katrine was visiting for a second. ENPH, a bit of a grind back to the upside here this afternoon, but getting stuck here where it ended the aftermarket yesterday following that report around this 83.50, 84 area as far as technically speaking is concerned. But ouch, this is not good here. For this entire group, it's worth mentioning. I mean, pick one, they're all down. There's a few actually I saw coming up next week as well with earnings.
Yeah, Tesla started the whole thing when they talked about solar panel installations being down 48% year over year, but it was really the guide for Enphase that really hurt them, guys. They guided $300 to $350 million in revenue for next quarter. The street was looking for $601 million. So essentially half of what the street was looking for, and that's caused a really aggressive sell-off.
Yeah, not a good place to be. I saw a couple of people were talking about not only this company, but this industry in the sense that they weren't really clear about what exactly it is they do. That has nothing to do with anything. That company is actually coming up in about 20 minutes or so. We're going to have visibility on, but we'll touch on that in a second. The inverter is essentially the device that transfers energy from the solar panel to storage, whatever. If it's going directly into something that's converting it into then the power grid or whatever, or a storage block or unit or whatever. So they sit in between the actual physical panel and then whatever the power is going to. So I saw a couple of people were talking about that.
I mean, I tweeted something out just now, a whole bunch of downgrades, whole bunch of price target cuts, everything for Enphase. I mean, their report was bad, basically slashing everything in half. Their revenue's half of what it was expected, not guiding very good moving forward. Sharif had a good talk there on the midday show about the converters and about how, sure, they have proprietary technology, but if no one's buying it or using it, then that's going to be hard. And in this area of rates, where the current rates are, it's too expensive to borrow money to put these things in. A lot of companies have chose to spend money in other places, which is not helping Enphase or a name like SolarEdge. We've seen SEDG get to the downside as well, $77, $78. Look, it was such a hot thing. So they're both barcoding right now, but SEDG already warned us last week, and then that was that move down as well. And basically now, Enphase and SEDG look very, very similar. Both, crushed back down to huge levels. $80, we had looked at that before. That is a level of support. I mean, again, I don't know how far we go back. This was over $300 at one point there when money was free. And we all know, other names that were popping off at this time as well. And we also know why people had a little bit extra income to spend, right? And so, unfortunately, right now, money is a little tighter than that. I don't know how far we have to go back, to be honest with you, but there was, there it is. Okay, so right back into here. There we go. All right, wow, hey, Enphase. Right there. So this is 80. So we were just looking at this level as a possible holding spot, and then if you tick down a little bit, then you're into 65-ish as that bottom. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's 50 period. It's been down the whole way. We did break it a little bit. I thought there was a chance, and I know. So the scary thing about this game right here is that there's probably a lot of traders that are caught right now because this move back up, and maybe now we can zoom into it. So this move back up about a month ago, I guess it was not even a month ago, last week, above this 125 marker, might have, and even myself too, would have thought that could have spiked, a move back even to the 200, right? But then SCDG came, and it was boom goes a dynamite. I remember pretty clear as day, I was on the air with Daniel Shea, and one of her indicators was Enphase coming up for this week for earnings. And she was like, this is not a name that I like. It does not look good on the charts. She even talked about this little bump up right there. And then all of a sudden, live on the air, SCDG came out, was just guidance. And then boom to the downside, and everything started to fall down. So good call there for anybody being short on these solar names. And if you were wondering why you haven't seen Randy around today, it's because he's not here.
Yeah, I haven't seen him around today for sure. But yeah, Enphase, that kind of multi-week level. We were talking about this in the morning about almost kind of a symmetrical move right there, kind of pushing up into that 340 and coming all the way back down. Definitely this run up. Sean is 100% correct when he says the money printer was going burr on this run up right here, and yeah, maybe a little bit of lack of money being printed on the way back down, as we are getting a little bit of what is it?
Are you still
an
getting
equal
getting COVID checks?
No, I mean, when did I
We're
ever
in
get
Canada
them? But like, yeah, exactly. So So on the way back down, kind of reclaiming a lot of those prices there. So yeah, it hasn't really moved too much on the day either, right? We've just been kind of teetering in and around this opening range and well within this earnings reaction range. So still no real decision, it seems, in terms of where we're going to be taking off from here. But yeah, earnings day one, a little bit of consolidation. Yeah, going through the bigger picture, this was a really good place to get involved in and around those 125s when we got that the bump that Sean is talking about there. Definitely a failure to follow through on that support.
All right, and I just want to say ciao to my friend there, the Wall Street there. He's gone for the weekend. He'll be back on November 6th. So, okay, good. Thank you so much for that one there in the chat. All right, just real quick, man. Ford. So right now, I just wanted to, oh, yeah, we're done with Enphase, so that was great. And thank you to Trade Ideas. I think we probably got to go back to that at some point. But Ford just right now broke through 10.
Ooh.
So there it is right now, back in through 10 bucks. I just know that there's a lot of traders that were probably thinking about that one. So there goes Ford, back down through 10 bucks. We've got Rivian. We did get stopped on it. We bought it back. It's because when we got stopped at 97.5 there, it didn't go any lower. So I was like, okay, let's give it another try. So we're in the long 99s now. We did lose on Rivian there 6 pennies. We were long at 03s, out at 97, plus the fees to punch out. So this, in order for me to be anything flat on Rivian, you know, and again, real trading, honesty and everything like that, needs to get back to 1605. And if it does that, I might just ring the register and get up for flat. Yeah, right now Rivian has seen better days. And then just real quick, before we go back to Brendo quickly, I just got out more and more there. I told you I was tightening stops on Google. It came into 26 again. We were in the money there, 40 cents. We took it, so that was that. All right, back to the desk.
All right, quickly, there's a scary big Halloween sale going on over at Trade Ideas, as it says there. Make sure you take advantage of this. You can get 25, bottom right corner of the screen right now, 25% off until Halloween, until the 31st of the month. That is valid. Use that QR code. TraderTv.live, guys. Go check out their test drive. Starts in 9 days, 10 hours, 27 minutes, and 54 seconds. So you got lots of time.
Wow.
Here, calculate that, 10 hours.
Very big, scary.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. No, but you know what? I got to give a big shout out to Michael Noss and the Trade Ideas team there, because the only way that we were going to do any sort of an affiliate with Trade Ideas is if we had the best deal on the street. So that spooky Halloween deal is 20%. We have Trader TV 25 right now.
Got the best of the best. All right.
Not awake? Maybe you are now.
What do you got going on there? I got a little long here
going on.
Off of so we're kind of doing a little bit of a bounce there on the NQs and the ES. I like that 206 area on Tesla. We were talking about that. Kind of comes in right here, breaks that low. We were talking about this being a potential double bottom, and then maybe I was like, okay, well, we flushed, we broke through that, and then you catch a bid on top of that on top of that 206. So yeah, blasting to the upside, instantly in the money. Oh boy, why can't I be doing this when I'm not in TMS? So
always the case,
yeah, exactly. So I think it has to do maybe a little bit with calming of mind, which might be a little factor there. But yeah, that 206 definitely showing some support as it has before, and that 127 on Amazon as well, with the confluence of a market bounce. So let's see how far we can get here. I do have some outs on the Tesla, but the thing is, the Tesla is quite heavy after it's broken that 210, 209, 208, just keeps stepping down. So a 1 point rebid may not be enough to let us know that we are turning on this ticker for now, but it does seem like the markets are catching a little bit of a bid here. I am watching across the board. The only one not really looking like it is catching a bid is Softy. So let's take a look at that one real quick and see what Softy is up to. Straight to the downside there, Sean, making brand new lows. We kind of talked about this 327 area, held support yesterday, kind of a multi-time frame, kind of coming in from both sides, both support and resistance level here on top of that 327, and yeah, coming straight down into into that level, making brand new low of days as we struggle to keep a hold of this opening reaction low on Softy. So maybe we are poised for a little bit of a continuation, but as some of these names are bouncing, I may beg to differ here. But SPYs, we talked about that 412 on SPY kind of being an area of concern, of interest, and we distinctly kind of broke below that level as well. So I am keeping that in mind. Again, trying to take good reps, trying to have a good system again in place. That's what we're doing here right now.
Okay, on the week, just writing some notes.
No, no worries. I can continue.
No, it's all good, baby. Okay, so Google. No, I was just making some notes. So Google there, it did break 80. We did get stopped out there, but then I very, very stupidly, I was again talking with some traders there and saying that I tightened my stops. But realistically, the 200 period is still up here, so I did want to get back into the short on Google. So we did. Unfortunately, I'll slap a fail on that last little bit. I mean, I told you we were getting lighter and taking some out. It did come back up into the area that we really liked, and then we wound up taking a 10-cent hit and getting out. So that kind of sucked there for Google. We're still green on the name. I mean, it's been a good day. We went long, then we went short, then we were short all up in there, and now we're back into the short again here. But yeah, I was just going to give it to 122. That's the high rate there now. So if this market, we're still underneath VWAP here, we're still underneath the IB lows, you're just kind of just wicking up to levels that we've been to before. I don't know, I'm getting the feel again. Remember how choppy it was up top when we weren't sure what was happening and then eventually breaks. And now it's feeling like the same thing. You're choppy down below now, you know, until eventually it breaks. And remember where we opened this day? Right here. So you're right at VWAP. VWAP is the open basically at this point. So, and if you could see, it hasn't moved pretty much all day. It's pretty, I mean, it's the same level right now that it was at open. So that's telling you that although you have some of these moves, right, when you take in the average, you're still right here in the middle, nothing decisively one way or the other right now. And I can proudly say that we are now well back in the money on Rivian, as you can see where this name's at, all the way back up to 1608. Again, we get taken out at that bottom and then just buy it back up. So like if we were just a little bit more patient, and we talked about this with your Amazon trade, we're talking about it now with the Google trade. It's like wait for your levels, and then that will give you yourself a little bit more of an out. Because if I'm not long, and it's not that many shares, right? But if I'm not that long at 03 here, then maybe I don't get out when it breaks 98. And maybe I just give it just that little bit more, which in this case would have worked. The market doesn't know, I mean, not trading these names doesn't know where the order flow is coming from, right? They're not saying, oh, well, someone just took 1,000 shares. They're going to get out 5 cents lower. Like, that's not, there's so much liquidity in these names that you have to trade your levels, but at the same time, an obvious one, like 16 flat, it's kind of like Ford, right? Like, where's Ford? So Ford, same thing. And I should have said this before looking at it, but it is the same thing. Ford comes into 10 bucks, breaks below by 2 or 3 pennies because everybody's waiting for 10 bucks. So when 10 bucks comes, if you load it up, and I think it was either Reliable Rudy or Ponzi Fonzie or somebody there in the chat that was talking to Sharif about this, and they said, there goes Google through 122. So we can stop shorting that one now, as that's gone all the way up. We shorted it at 85 there. What I was getting at was that $10 break, if you're long at 1001 or 1002, then you're probably not worried about it when it goes to 97 or 98. But if you're long like in this consolidation, which I've been like 05s, you know, maybe you get long on this break higher, 08, things like that, like you're getting excited, or even right now, you know, oh, it's breaking higher, I'm getting long. Well, then when it comes back in again, you're probably punching out on that bottom. But if you're just patient with it, sure, you might miss it, but if you're patient and it falls back into you, sometimes those are the best trades. And I think that this is a good example right here, because Rivian came in and we got stopped out. But if we just took 16, then there's no way we're getting stopped out for 2 or 3 pennies, right? So again, just a little bit there. Hopefully it helps. I feel like I'm getting excited again because Google's doing that move where it goes up and then down through 122. So I'm debating getting shorter here. But the futures just hit again. Actually, they hit that top candle there. Yeah. All right, it's worth it. It's worth trying to go one more time just because we have that wick top right there. you know, we could just see it because that was also the bottom. There was also the pre-market bottom. So I feel like we just tried and failed to the top side. It might be a better Qs trade actually right now. It might be better on the triple Qs or on the SPY than it is here on the NASDAQ. Let's have a look at that. So go ahead.
Yeah, so that long is definitely coming in there. Just as Sean mentioned, yeah, we are retesting some of this range low that we had in the morning, and yeah, so we got long on Tesla and on Amazon, kind of off of this 206 and that 127 level, and pieced them out at the 207 half. We talked about the kind of a potential for this trend to kind of come back in, but what I'm observing right now is take a look at this. We've kind of started extending through a bit of a shorter term trend here as this is kind of headed right back towards VWAP there. So what I'm looking at next is horizontal support and resistance levels right here on the intraday, that 208. So this little consolidation here that lasted for what is this, about from a 1 o'clock to about 2, so almost an hour there. This consolidation range is right in this level here, 207 to 208. So let's see what we do with this range. If we have truly broken this this short-term kind of trend, maybe a retest of that VWAP is in store. That bounce is definitely looking quite strong there on the market. So we did get a little long here. Didn't take off all our pieces just yet. But again, we're talking about trying to be patient. So let us know in the chat. What have you guys traded today? We talked about how the market has been quite choppy. And yeah, you had to be patient. Definitely a lot of opportunities. There's no doubt about it. There was definitely a lot of money to be made, a lot of moves and points to be captured on both, I guess, you can see how volatile the futures were and how volatile some of these names are, right? But some of them quite tame, right? Take a look at Google, right? Take a look at Google right here. Still hasn't really moved too far away from some of these opening prices, looking distinctly different versus some of these other names. So pretty much like what is the opening price right here on Google? I think it's 122.70s right there. We kind of topped out. That's pretty interesting. You can't follow through a break of opening price on Google, and then you're holding and churning in and around VWAP. You are making higher lows and holding above VWAP right now. So the question becomes, if we do rally, are we going to see a move past 122.70 there as we have already struggled once to kind of get back through that opening price? I know that Apple is pretty much doing the same as well, kind of just churning in and around VWAP there. A lot of maybe some potential I guess indecisiveness before next week, right, Sean? So we talked about this being the end of the week. Yep. We have sold off quite significantly. We got that rally in the morning and a little bit of a relief for the longs, and then you kind of the selling kind of steps right back in, and we basically get nowhere on the bigger picture. Now, with only about an hour and 15 minutes left, we don't have too many 15-minute bars left to print, only about 4. So this consolidation is I think going into the closing session is going to be pretty key. Just these short-term levels here, this 14,280, roughly a bit of a support in the pre-market session, and as well as out the open initially, and then we kind of break through that level again, and now we're retesting it from the downside. So here's the thing: it was support. Is this one of those instances where support turns into resistance, and we kind of hold underneath this 14,280, or we rebid back up because we are quite down on the day? We barely even got a 30% retracement on this move, let alone a 50% retracement. That's usually what we've been seeing, at least a 30 to 50% retracement on a crazy move, either to the upside or the downside, and even V-shaped recoveries, right? I think last was it on Tuesday was a V-shaped recovery this past Tuesday when I wasn't here. Yeah, I was sitting at home watching that price action, and I was like, oh well, damn, like maybe we are buying, but I guess it was just a shake and bake, kind of a
it was a shake
kind
and
of
bake. I
a
like that shake
kind of
and
a getting in into shares, I guess, for the bigger picture move. When you kind of churn all those prices intraday, definitely can be a little telling at times. But that move doesn't really follow through. Those buyers don't really come in, and we break down through a lot of those levels we were sustaining the last week and earlier this week as well. So let's see. I'm still holding on to these positions. There's kind of a slowdown there. We saw that nice strong momentum off that 206 on Tesla, and we're just holding in and around 207 now. So let's see if we can get to 208. I got some orders kind of posted in and around some of those levels. If we do kind of reclaim into this range from before, I think we can very well catch a little bit of buying pressure there. I just want to take a quick look at the SPY here.
We'll have to do that when we get back, because for right now,
yes,
it's about that time. We do have our interview ready with Brendan at the big desk.
All right, see you guys.
Hey guys, thanks. Yeah, we are happy to have Visibility Group Technologies Corporations with us this afternoon, a Canadian-based software provider for AI-driven security and retail analytics technologies. The company has also just announced a very cool technology that I'm excited to tell you guys about this afternoon. And that is a digital cooler door screen, which I think is a fantastic idea. Jay Hutton is CEO of Visibility Group Technologies Corporation, joining us this afternoon for the first time on the show. It's great to have him. Jay, good to see you. I guess the first thing I want to know is, am I heading in the right direction here in assuming that if I'm at an NBA game and I want to go and get myself a tasty beverage, these are going to be on the actual cooler screen doors behind the counter?
God willing, that will happen. In fact, we announced on Tuesday, I believe this week, our first NBA stadium. It's in the West Coast. We're not yet ready to disclose the name, but that's critical, because you can think about this. The cooler itself is a large canvas for display advertising. And large beverage companies, large liquor companies, both liquor and non-liquor, want to deliver a brand message to you right when you're at the point where you can buy the product. So not only are we providing for that capacity, but we're using AI to measure the response of the audience. How many men, how many women, are they happy, unhappy? All of this to deliver a really closed loop for the brand, understanding exactly who their audience is and how that audience is engaging with their brand.
Yeah, society has become such a visual, we're in a very visual age, I guess is the best way to put it. And I mean, I've been in that situation where you walk up to, the counter in that very situation in line, and then you get to the person to order and you think, I want that one, and you don't really know. So this is a great way to kind of drive home the message. The potential market here is enormous. Tell us a little bit about how you see this affecting the overall company.
Well, first of all, I want to comment on what you just said about the psychology of buying. Is really kind of fascinating. A lot of us go to the point of sale, places where we're going to buy product, with no idea what we're going to buy. So that means we are subject to brand influence and brand messaging, brand preference, right at the point of sale where the magic happens. So exactly what you're talking about is exactly where the brands want to deliver to you a message. Now, what does it mean to the company? If you look at Coca-Cola alone, just in North America, just in Canada and the USA, Coca-Cola has 21 million coolers on the balance sheet. These are coolers they buy from mom and pop operations right up to Loblaws and Costco. So that our speculation is what percentage of those coolers will turn into digital canvases? And the answer is pretty significant. Now, the cooler technology has a few participants, but we are the only cooler technology on the planet at the moment that is delivering a platform that can both be seen through, as you just saw in the video there, and seen upon. So we can deliver a message on the screen itself, but the screen is translucent so that you can still see the product. And that's critical for brands who, of course, spend millions of dollars on packaging and don't want us to put a screen in front of it that makes that packaging invisible, if you know what I mean.
Of course. I mean, we started this off, pointing to the sports application and arena application. I mean, there's obviously a ton of opportunity when it comes to that. That, video highlighting also the opportunity here when it comes to, just very regular retail application and grocery stores. I mean, it's basically unlimited.
retail is going to explode. Boston Consulting Group says that business, that marketplace, is a $100 billion marketplace by 2027. If that's true, it's growing faster than social media and faster than TV itself grew. So significant opportunity, a place where we are a pioneer and a key participant and early participant, and a place where we are deployed right now in Latin America with our joint venture customer Anheuser-Busch. Clearly, you understand what's valuable to them. And in our acquisition that was just announced this week in 4,500 screens in retail here in the USA. So an exciting opportunity for the market and for the company.
Expect next here, if you had to, say to investors, this is obviously a very exciting time for the company. Where does this go down the road?
I think this retail marketplace, even though we have both a foot in retail using AI, computer vision analytics, understanding audience, understanding brand engagement at the point of sale, we also have another leg of the stool in the security business. So we're artificial intelligence. We teach computers what to see. So in the retail space, the explosion, we just got to grab a hold of this wagon because it's rolling. And we're a key participant in it. We have not only a stake in the tech stack, we build the technology, but we're now part of the media. We have media network. We own physical points of purchase and points of location where we deploy the advertising technology. Unfortunately, advertising is going to see every part of our world and every part of our journey because the places for it, historical places for it, are being limited. And so reaching you with a brand message when you're out and about is going to be critical to the world's largest brands. And that's what we enable.
Fantastic idea. And as you said, very early, only the beginning, it would seem, for this technology. VSBGF, guys, the ticker, OTC QB, south of the border, here in Toronto on the CSE. VSBY is the ticker.
Right.
Jay Hutton, CEO of Visibility Group Technologies Corporation. Thanks for doing this. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Look, you always want to be involved in a growth business right there. So those kind of numbers that we were just dropping right there, huge opportunity. And I mean, I like going out to those, concerts, all that kind of stuff. It's pretty neat to see some of those new technologies hitting. And while we were just talking there, though, and again, it's kind of cool. You can trade on the CSE, I saw, yeah. OTC markets, all of that. Have a quick look over there at Visibility. And thank you so much for coming on. And great interview there, Brendo. And if you missed it, just rewind. 2:45 came on. So, you were just talking about shorting the SPY. I was trying to short that as well. It didn't get to my level. I was just going to tell you that I put out. It almost did actually on that move. I'm sitting here right now, 411.85, just in front of this 200 period moving average. I think we can probably cancel it. We do have a Tesla short right now. That's pretty cash money, and I was going to talk about it. We just put it on right before we went over there, and you asked me why, and I was just like, you know what, against this. And again, just a little frustrated because we got out of our Google, which is now just down 20 cents, but still, 20-cent hit. Even if you have 500 shares, it's still 20 cents. It's only $100. Yeah, I guess whatever. But still, nice move to the downside here for Tesla now. But, you're just going to look at this. I wanted to go short into this level right here. It's 208 basically. That was dropped off, wicked higher, and we have the 200 period moving average. We would still be under VWAP, but VWAP could travel all the way to 209. So my idea was to get short in around here. I have another offer at 208, looking to extend it like 208.50, maybe punch out if we're wrong there. But we did get a good short in at 207.70, and we just took $1 on that one. So we just took $1 on that. We still have about a decent, I think we probably have about 60% left on this trade as Tesla falls right back in. And I am waiting for this. I'm waiting for 206 and change. So hopefully we can come back in a little bit further. Obviously, if I could have it all over again, I'd get it all out down here. So we will put another bid right in here around 60. I don't have it yet. So something around the 60s. We're going to put that out right now, and hopefully we'll be able to catch that one on a little bit of a dip down in. And then we'll wait for 206 low.
Yeah, Sean. I think that 208 is a valid target there, because that's one of my targets for the long. Because I have the 206 long. Clearly, that 206 is a decent level to interact with, and that same reasoning for that 208. I'm like, okay, well, maybe potential sellers will come back in at that 208. 208 definitely looks like a price to sell at. So I do want to sell some of this long in and around that area if we can even get up there. We kind of talked about how this trend to the downside is quite strong, and we did churn in this range for about an hour from 1 to 2 in and around this 207 to 208. So on the reclaim of that, let's see if those sellers at 208 can kind of come back in. We are bidding back to the upside here. Take a look at Amazon. Amazon kind of coming back in to that 128 half. Roughly, this consolidation is the next stop on the bus right there, as yeah, we might be picking up or dropping off some passengers off of this level here, this 128 half, 128.40 ish level. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking to take some things off right there at that level, that consolidation. But if we are going to reclaim some of this quadunk price action into the end of the day, let's see whether or not that comes into fruition there. So yeah, I was watching that Ford as well. You know that that $10 break came in much earlier, but take a look at this. We haven't necessarily followed through that, with any significance, right? We're just chopping and churning in and around that $10 mark, still holding that level. Definitely the trade, I think, was off of that 11 break out the open. You fail to follow through that 11. We saw how strong that multi-month low was, and yeah, I'm seeing a lot of red there on my tapes. So let's take a quick look here at what is going on. All right, so we're still kind of coming back in. So Sean, you may get that 206 sooner than you think on the Tesla, as we are raging back down to the downside. So you know what? I will be a little responsible and maybe try to piece off a little bit here. Okay, you know what? I'll just take it all off. We broke the $0.50 right there. I'll get back in if that 206 kind of holds. But yeah, we got some out at 207 half. We got the rest out at 206 half. So not the best on the second half of that position. But if we hold above that 206, I don't mind getting involved once again. But as you can see, take a look at the NQs. We are kind of selling off quite hard off of that same area we pointed out earlier, kind of that consolidation low from the pre-market and opening session right there at that 14,280. Same thing with the ES, man. The ES looking much more heavier than the NQ. Let's take a quick look at the map here. So I'm just going to hit the refresher on this, and yeah, take a look. Everything pretty much red there, Sean, except for some of the leading tech names there: Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, and Meta kind of leading the way. Maybe some semiconductors as well. It seems like AMD and Intel up about 10%. We kind of talked about Intel as well. Let's take a quick look.
Take a look, yeah.
Let's take a quick look at Intel. Intel has not gone anywhere. Still kind of straight chilling right here in and on top of this 35 hold. Again, we talked about how this may prove to be significant going forward. Let's see if it can sustain this 35.20 level on Intel. So okay, so Tesla kind of comes back into that 206. So Sean's laughing to the bank with that one, and that 206 kind of comes back in. So you know what? I may be looking for a potential re-long on this, but again, like we said, we want to respect the longer term, or the quote unquote relatively longer term trend, as we've been seeing since about the beginning of the lunch hour here. From that 211 straight fades into 206, and then we kind of try to rebid. You rebid about a point and a half, almost 2 points, but then you can't really follow through, and those sellers kind of come right back in. And take a look at the NQs there, Sean, breaking, potentially knocking on the door of new lows as well. So maybe I should be piecing off of this Amazon position as we speak. So I'll take off a little bit here, keep some on just in case we do bounce off of a lower high. Again, we talk about the fugays. The markets can hit the lows, but if Amazon wants to stay strong and hold day lows as the market breaks its day lows, and then that could very well come into play. But maybe that's just me overthinking it, Sean.
No, we never overthink things as traders, do we?
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Definitely a lot of overthinking, man.
Yeah. This Google trade, like it's, about that. We got short, we got out, we got short, we got out. And then the short came in. But crying over spilled milk is something that you should never do, and we're not gonna do it here either, because you know what? All is well in love and war, and we went to war with Tesla on the short side of it, and there it is, it just paid off. Like, again, it's all about catching sometimes these crazy moves, and like that moved up there, we were sitting there right into the teeth of some of this move anyways, into 208, got the short, now you're bang $1.20 down. We just took a piece out, just like you mentioned. We do realize that we are running into the bottom of the day here again, so look, I'm happy. I'm super happy. I want everyone to join me tonight on the Market Recap Show, where we review all these sectors, everything going crazy, trades of the day. We're going to have Michael Noss coming through as well at the end of the day to talk everything about maybe a swing trade over the weekend, something like that, what we want to look at. And then maybe Q&A. You guys want to do a Q&A with Michael Noss? Maybe we'll do that tonight as well. So join me on the after show, and we'll do whatever we decide to do, OB. I mean, I could have you as a guest, but you've been working hard today. Let's get you off the mic and go take a shot of scotch, you know what I'm saying? Here into the close, but...
might need more than one shot of scotch.
You might need to like bang the bottle over your head.
Might need a couple bottles there, Sean.
Yeah. That's a couple bottles. Okay, let's slow down on that one.
Popping bottles?
But yeah, I don't want, and someone just put a word up there. What's up to Roger in the chat? I really like that word, hopium. I do think that, you know, there is a part of hopium in every single market. And, you know, where you're wishing for something to come through. You know, I hope this is the bottom. You know, I hope the price I just bought, you know, can get me this much profit. You really have to just trade what you see. And honestly, and this is kind of why I like these CMT dudes. It's straight price action. And if we think that this is going to bounce somewhere, where is that? I mean, is it not down here? At 14.1, you know, I mean, we can zoom this back out and do a lot more work on things that are a lot further out than where we are right now. But like, this doesn't look like, this kind of looks like the Ford chart breaking 10 here. Like, what is below us? You know, we're all the way back in here into August. Now, if I can change this to a 90-minute chart, then you'll start to see some levels, fine, okay? But at some point, like right there, this is the level we're talking about, 14. So I think you can get down to 14,000 on the NASDAQ, right where we were, right back into there. And then if you really want to talk about it, 13.6, we've talked about that as a level as well. But I think 14,000, this kind of looks crazy how zoomed up back out it is. Hold on a second. Let me just do a little bit more of a look. There's 14,000. That's where we got to. Then we jumped off. We didn't return since then. So I really do like those levels. I think 13.6 down here was that bottom back on 2023 in May, where we fell back in, then started to move back to the upside. So I feel like there are some levels back into here that we're going to have to say, where are we jumping off from? So right now is a possible long area. So I could see that going all the way back to 2023 that's just May. So back into May, some of those levels right there. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. But then if you take this out, which is where I think we're going, then after that, man, you do get down into some bad levels of 13.6. Hopefully 14 will stop. But I mean, I don't know. We'll just continue to watch out for that. Hold out some hopium that there is a little bit of a bounce in this market in and around this area. So I don't have a problem with people thinking that they could bounce from here. This is another one right here, Rivian. Actually just noticing that, hey, now that it's breaking through sevens, let's just, well, we put the offer out there and all of a sudden you see it kind of builds itself back up, but hopefully we'll get a print there on that one. 07s, and then Tesla makes that bottom there, and we're still gonna wait. But I'm tightening up stops, right? So I feel like let's not turn a winner into a loser and get stopped out too much above where we're in right now. So if Tesla does come back up, we'll look to maybe exit this trade in and around this 208. I mean, that's where the 200 period is.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a choppiness can easily get you stopped out. We were talking about this kind of getting or trying not to get frustrated, but definitely getting frustrated, myself included, getting stopped out multiple times in this crazy choppy market. We see how crazy this chop is. Look at this right here at that 128. We talked about the NQ kind of. Sure, I'll have a little bit of coffee. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, cream and sugar. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sean. Yeah, so that 128, kind of chop and churn. Take a look at this. If you were trying to get involved here at that 128, right? Reasonable area to get involved, in my opinion. You have this kind of consolidation churn for about half an hour to an hour. That breaks down, and then you kind of fail to follow through into below 127, right? Take a look at these wicks underneath 127 on Amazon. You literally fail to follow through quite nicely as the market quadunks to the ground. So I like that idea for the long. We took it for about a point, and the NQs kind of come slamming right back into the lows. But take a look at what Amazon does. It can barely get past the 80s. Right? Can barely get past the 80s underneath the dollar and still holding that consolidation. So maybe potentially that consolidation above these prior low bars there on top of that 127 could be a little bit of an indicator that we may have some relief back to the upside. Maybe that 128.5. I can see this consolidation high right here. We break this 128.40. Maybe we bring in some of that buying pressure just short term off of some shorts getting squeezed on off of that 128. So here's the thing. We got long, we relonged on Tesla as well, as we saw that it was holding right above this 206 level. So maybe potentially a higher low being formed as the NQ kind of doesn't necessarily follow through to make new lows there. So I'll stay watching this level here. We know that 14.2 is just underneath us, but we were talking about kind of that. I think I had that 14.250 on my sticky note. But again, very, very messy levels. I'm looking for that 14,000 by next week if we kind of continue this selling into some of these lows here. So let's take a quick look at what I'm talking about, as it seems like Tesla is catching a little bit of a bid, and we are kind of set up for, okay, so right there we take some profits as it rips right through that 207. So another 206 to 207 kind of trade when it holds the 206 half, just taking just a chunk of the move there, just a reversion of this leg to the downside, but we are making higher lows relative to this 206. So I like that. I like the way that Amazon is setting up as well. And take a look at Google real quick. What it's doing with respect to VWAP. So let's pull up VWAP right there. So we talked about Google kind of holding and churning VWAP all day, really kind of indecisive. We did the same yesterday, and then we kind of stepped a little bit lower, but reclaimed into that range. Some of those range lows being 121.5 from yesterday. Take a look at how clean this triple bottom kind of is. You come in, and that level becomes real messy right away, as it's just insignificant now. Like, take a look. Yesterday it was being defended quite well as day lows, but today that level is no longer that significant. So that's something to say about short-term levels. Sure, they can be significant for a little bit, but as soon as they kind of violate, you got to throw them out the window and be like, all right, well, this is clearly no longer a level. We've kind of chopped and churned. Maybe it's a core, maybe it's whatever. But again, we don't want to overthink it too much. The only thing that I'm observing here, we've reclaimed the range, and we're holding on top of VWAP going into the close. So we were talking about the SPIs. Thank you very much, Sean. So we were talking about the SPIs. The SPIs distinctly weak, right? Looking very similar to the S&P futures on the ES, right? You can't really claim VWAP. We talk about that 415. We talk about that 412 low from yesterday. You kind of you fail to follow through into some of these pre-market highs. You make the low. You can't even hold VWAP, and you accelerate to the downside. So definitely a little bit of a divergence in terms of the NQ and the ES. You can see that the NQ is still technically positive, 0.33%, but the ES almost down twice as much, negative 0.6, almost 0.7 to the downside on the ES. So SPY definitely clocking it in there. So a lot of these S&P names definitely catching a bit of a sell, but it would seem that tech is holding up quite nicely, even though we have been selling off quite aggressively, and we've been in a pretty volatile chop there. So yeah, we kind of reclaimed that 207 on Tesla. Let's see if we can make it back up to that 208. Whether or not not this market bounce is going to give us some real relief or not into the close. Who knows? But I'm sitting there with my orders.
All right, yeah, the NASDAQ lost its 200 period moving average. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Because I am net short and you are net long.
Boom.
You're the yellow, I am the red.
Money, 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 money.
You're right over there, Fabian, or? I thought it was the props. All right. Oh, yeah, you want the props one?
Oh, okay, okay, yes.
Let me know if it's enough sugar or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, it's perfect. Thank you. I like to sip on it, you know, kind of like if I drank like a half a cup.
Oh, no,
boy,
no,
you're gonna see that in my executions.
Okay,
it's gonna go erratic.
Oh,
wow, you want to see? You actually? I don't know about
that.
No, it's funny. I forget what day it was. But a few weeks ago, you brought so I got the espresso. I was like, all right, I'll have some coffee, and it was really hopped up coffee. And then I get to Amazon, and then you know that meme is like, oh, and then I just started blasting, right? So basically,
Why do you think I'm blasting
and then I just started blasting because I'm so caffeinated, very erratic behavior, and I'm like that's being reflected in my trading. So I know I talk about this with a lot of people. I've actually kind of tracked the right amount of coffee in the mornings that I kind of need because I started noticing if I get too hopped up on the coffee, it definitely reflects in the trading. Very erratic trading and well, I already struggle with risk management as it is, but when you're hopped up on coffee, all those bad habits come in. The lows of your systems get tested, and yeah, exactly. So not really a good mix, but going into the end of the day, a little bit of coffee is not too bad, Sean. Thank you.
Yeah, good. So I hope you enjoy the Baileys as well. Okay, so here we go. All right, let's try to find some levels of concern right now. We are still short Tesla. And what's up to, was it Super SPAC Man or someone was in there saying, did you miss the classic Katina change up? No, we were always trying to go long Rivian. So we're trying to go long Rivian 16. So we just got a great fill up there. Did we get 11s or 10s while we were getting this coffee? We got 10s. So that's a nice move back up there to the upside. You may see us drinking a lot of coffee on the show. Realistically, it's like most of them get about halfway.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I have my one from before. It's gone cold, but yeah.
Do you have any sponsors out there that want to sponsor like heated mugs or something like that? Or thing is, I actually got one. It might be lying around here. I think it might be in the other room there.
That would be perfect.
My wife got me one of those. You put your cup on it.
Oh, okay. It's like one of those
heated pad.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I just feel like that's going to cause some fire. Like, I just feel like sitting that right here, it's not going to be good, man. Because next thing you know, Troll's hair is going to get all involved in that. This is a good luck troll from the Blue Jays. The last time they actually had a decent team was back in 92, 93. So this is the World Series troll from then.
Oh, wow.
In this packet, still original packaging and everything.
Nice. Where'd you get that?
I don't know. It's my wife's.
Cool.
I think.
So good luck charm?
Well, it was in our I mean, maybe I'm gonna have to ask her because this could be mine, but I think she was collecting trolls back then when they were something.
Yeah.
And she had a whole bunch and like.
I think people still do.
I think we have some decent ones because they're in like a plastic container, and she just kept them. And so we were going through the basement a couple years ago, just cleaning stuff out, and in one of our storage bins were all these trolls. So I'm pretty sure that's where that one came from. I was like, yoinks, taking that one. So that is where that came from, I think. A little bit of story time there in honor of Neil. He always has the story times. Okay, so right there, that's what that troll is from. Okay, Apple. So Apple's making a nice move back up to VWAP as well. The market's really going now. So something's going on. Nice move up there. Not that something's going on, but the market is starting to go again. Yeah, I like that move. And again, like you were just
for a little
there,
bit.
like we just had a pretty decent sized candle there, 14,230 up to 1460. Like look at that wick. This is why, honestly, man, it's probably time to finish off putting on, decent positions with big size, unless you, for some reason, know which way this market's going. And if you do, please let me know, like, now, because, like, that wick up there is tough, because that's going to stop you out. You know what I mean? Of your positions. It's great for the longs, just like the wick down was great for Tesla right there when we got filled there. Great for that fill. But look, like, if your stop was 207 or something, you just got run there, let alone 207.25, something like that, only for you to blink and see your position now back in the money 50 cents again. You know, so it's just a very, very difficult trade I find right now, and it might be worth hands off. Like, Rivian only spiked there to 9s or 10s. We should put another offer here at Rivian at 9. Maybe we can get that, and then put one a little bit higher than that. I'm at 15 right now. So if that comes up, we'll take it. But yeah, just very, very difficult right now with these spikes back and forth. This is too choppy. This is too choppy. All right, what else you guys want to look at? We got to look at names that had some plays today. So Intel, we had a great play on Intel. Intel's my #1 stock even right now, so that was good. Let's look out for that. Again, we're looking for some shorts, and that did come in, but we didn't hit it. Actually, that was at 230. Did we talk about that when that came in? Because this is the level that I wanted to short. So if I miss that again, then yeah. You know why? Because maybe I didn't put my order there because we were so far below, then that just came in. I feel like we might have talked about that since that level. But that's 230. I mean, we had the visibility come on. I feel like we might have missed that trade right there, guys. So that's a good opportunity. Let me put something right there right now in case we do get another bump up there on Intel. We want to take that trade right there at 85. So if that comes up, we do want to take that. We'll put a decent amount of shares there. If that comes in again, 85, we'll take it against that 36. So I do like that for a possible trade. Meta has been moving around again. Meta is, we've been on that stock and trade that decently today. So let's just, until we got, oh yeah, that's right, we got stopped out at that level. We wanted 297 to come in. That didn't really happen yet. 298 was the top for a top take, but we're right there at VWAP right now. So this is the trickery that I'm talking about. Like, you go short into here, you get stopped out for sure on that wick. And then after that, it drops back down $1.50. So it's like that, these are the death candles where you're going to get stopped out on. So if you like the short, actually this meta short right now isn't horrible. Oh man, Obi, see now I'm starting to think about that again right now. 296.50, that's not bad against this 297 area. Yeah. We've only spent a little bit of the day above there. So that means that the market, in my opinion, is really gonna have to go. If this is what the NASDAQ looks like today, this is the only time Meta spent above this level right here, right? So if we zoom back out earlier, so we did have a nice move earlier on in the morning, but this afternoon we never really got to 298. So maybe there's a play there on Meta as well on this little bump higher. I think we could short Meta around this 297, so that would be another play. And the only reason I'm looking short is heading into the Friday, some rhetoric there. I feel like we need to have a study. Someone's probably done a study there. Out of the last 20 Fridays, or let's say the last year, how many times did we end the Friday in the last power hour, which we're in right now? What was the direction of that? Because I think that would be pretty interesting to have that kind of a statistic.
Yeah,
we'll talk about the imbalance locators after this, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we talked about kind of that volatility. We think the market is going up. We think it's going down. But yeah, there's only one person who really can tell there, Sean, and that is a reversion man. You're not answering the phone? Oh man,
nah, because
you can't ghost the reversion man.
I mean, he's under that. They're under that quiet period. I don't need to get anything. I don't want to put pressure on the guy.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. He's already under a lot of pressure as it is.
On that. But we know that already. They're not raising, right? It's going to be a zeros this next time, and then we'll wait to see what for December. That's November 1st, man. That's coming up.
Yeah. Oh,
he really wants to? Does he want to talk to you? I don't know what.
Up or down? You can't say.
Right. See?
All right. Well.
See? So it's me. Tried to call you. I don't know.
Well, he tried to call you, and then he's like, oh, they're not picking up, so he tries to call me, and it's like, it might be a little, yeah. But here's the thing, though. We are catching a bit of a bid on the market, so maybe that phone call did do something. I have no idea. But we kind of started raging a little bit to the upside here, a little bit of continuation. We talked about this kind of consolidation break on Amazon there, and testing into this 128.40s, which we're still waiting for here. We got long on the 127s through the 128. Let's see whether or not we can distinctly push through that 128.5. The markets are kind of teetering. We failed to follow through to make new lows. We've kind of been chopping. What is this level right here? I have the lows here at, I guess, what is this, 14,212-ish area, whatever. So like the lows right there. We failed to follow through into the lows, and we're picking right back up and kind of going nowhere. So if the NQs are going to stay a little indecisive and not really get anywhere, maybe some of these pressures that are being held onto on some of these tickers, we might see some of that pressure kind of release as the market kind of shows us a little bit of indecisiveness. And we have been selling off for most of the afternoon there. So maybe a little bit of a relief is where that pressure might take us on some of these names, right? The market can do like 20, 30 points, and Tesla will bid up like 2 points, 3 points, and then continue with the market. So that's kind of all we're looking for there. The market can stay kind of indecisive, but I think some of the opportunities during that market indecisiveness on these equities could definitely give you a little bit of I don't want to say edge, but maybe some perspective, right? Maybe some perspective as to where we might go. We see the buildup happening. We see the failure to follow through when the NQs kind of test their lows. We only consolidate and we step up. We can see where we're coming from. I have my wicks on this chart, so you can't really see it that well. So let me pull up.
So we cannot see.
Well, let me pull up a chart. So I was seeing it earlier, but yeah, take a look at this. Okay, so. I'm not really one for I guess marrying technical patterns,
right.
But I'm more along the lines of what do those technical patterns normally mean, right? So we're getting in this moment underneath the VWAP, we're getting a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders. So what does that mean to me here? We have certain prices that hold. We try to violate those prices. We push those prices. We fail to follow through. That makes your head. You reclaim those prices, and then you hold above those same prices again. So that's what kind of makes your shoulders and the head. So that kind of price action, not really being like, oh, this is a head and shoulders, so it has to do this or this. But I'm realizing what price is doing in this kind of formation here as of right now underneath VWAP. Now, whether or not we continue to the upside or kind of come back in, that's yet to be seen. As you can see, the pressure on both sides is quite heavy, so we could go either way. But when I was talking about kind of pressures being released, if we break this 128.40, we could very well get some pressure release off of some of these shorts, or they could very well come right back in as I speak. Take a look at that VWAP staying a little bit heavy, as we have been seeing a little bit of wicks there. So let's see where we go from here. I'm looking at this 127.80-ish level there that's held a little bit earlier. We failed to follow through, and then you reclaim on that 127.50. And I see Tesla is slowly creeping back up to the upside. And as I look at some of my other tickers, Sean, take a look at what Google is up to. Google kind of trying to head for that level again. We talked about how we could not even get past its opening price up here at that 122.80, 122.70s area, and we're slowly kind of grinding back up in towards those prices after holding on to VWAP. So maybe we do get that bounce into the end of the day there, Sean. We only have about 40 minutes left till the bell.
Did you forget about what cup I have?
Red one.
Red one. I'm not trying to feel no bounce.
Oh,
back
yeah.
up. I'm trying to feel this making.
All right.
But
Okay.
you could be right there. Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know if I'm right or wrong.
I don't know either.
Like
I said, no one's sending us the magic.
No.
We have the magic 8-ball. Okay. Here we go. All right, Obi, because you're on the show.
Yes.
Here we go. Please ask the 8-ball if the NASDAQ will close green.
Okay. Do I have to word it in any special?
Yes, you have to ask a very specific question.
Okay. Will the NASDAQ?
You got to shake it.
Will the NASDAQ close? What was the question?
You can. How about this? You just ask.
Will
me
the
whatever you want.
NASDAQ
No, just ask me
close
whatever
below its lows?
That's fine by me.
That was with the question, right?
That's,
All right.
if you have a question mark at the end of it.
Yep. Okay.
Hold it like so it's
Oh boy.
flat.
Right there. Okay.
So
So it says Fahad says yes.
Fahad says yes. So it will be down near the bottom there. Shout out to our good friend Fahad
Maybe that's
as well.
who
He hasn't been here for a while, so shout out to Fahad. But if he's saying yes, then it's definitely going to happen. And Fahad would probably be short about 40,000 shares of Apple right now. So hopefully that move does come down. Again, for those of you that were wondering, Fahad used to work in our production team. And then because, he went to another opportunity, unfortunately, as what does happen in the world of employment, as many people know. But there it is. Nice move to the downside right now. Right there, 206.70, making the moves down. So, hey, I would really, really appreciate that 8-ball to be right, because guess what's happening right now in front of us? It's Meta, and it's $1. We'll just put that on, give a hot dog cannon right now. We just put Meta on just a couple of seconds ago, up there at 296.60 right there. I was that costume one time for Halloween. That's why it's kind of fun to show that. But it is a nice little push back in anyways here on Meta, right into the 50 period. I was debating just taking this out right now, cashing that for 60, 70 cents. But then I feel like we wouldn't really be representing our coffee cup properly. But hopefully this move will continue to come back into the downside. And then for those of you taking tabs on the positions, thank you. I told you we were getting out pretty much our last piece right there at 08s or 09s. We did do that on Rivian. I still do have 10% left. That's it. 10% left of this Rivian position. Really, really able to get it out. We told you that we were to get out at 05 would be break even. So this is the thing, like I'm all about trying to be as transparent and about as honest with everybody on the positions, on the break even. I mean, I'm pretty much the only one here that will say, I'm 5-1 today, or 4-2, or 10-2, or something like that. And not that that matters what you're doing, but I was telling you guys that regardless of share size, I told you I needed to get back to 05 there to break even on Rivian. So we did step up, we got hit there on the way back down, and then boom, there it goes right back up to the upside, getting them out 9s, 10s, 11s, and 12s. So there you go, Rivian right there today. So I just want to bring that to everyone's attention. And then honestly, man, you might be right, or that 8-ball might not matter today, because honestly, a little bit of a move down, we were just like, yeah, we're that.
Yeah.
The move is down, now here we go, and then instantly stops and then just goes right back again. So it's like that Meta position is still 40 cents now in the money, but it's definitely not as good as it was down there at 295.50. So we need the market to go the other way, guys. The other way, remember? Although you're long, so, oh, wait a minute, you're long Tesla. Oh, no, we're long and short. Oh, you're long $1.
Yeah, $1 away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my
I think that the chat's been talking about the Tesla battle and who's going to win the Tesla battle. It's not about winning or losing, guys.
Wow.
We can still be in opposite positions and still make money on the trade. You can see that
I didn't even realize
Sean is on the other edge of that, and I'm on the other edge of that.
You're on the edge of a lot of things here.
So again, you said you wanted to sell more at that 208, right? I think that 208
well, if it gets
is
up there, yeah.
Yeah, if we can get up there. But yeah, a little bit of a Google strength kind of showing itself there, and the SPYs as well. SPY kind of reclaims that 410. So I'm curious to know whether or not we do kind of catch a little bit of a bid into the
Too much
close.
Baileys, people are saying.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I wish we had some Baileys in there. Then maybe we'd be YOLOing these positions.
Then we wouldn't be as hopped up on the coffee, kind of getting excited at every tick up and every tick down, and then the Baileys would definitely
part of
smooth
what we're
things
doing
out.
here is also trying to show some levels, and not just that, but like a little bit of entertainment, a little bit as well, right? Like we're trying to show you guys that you can be chilled out a little bit, trade and make a little bit of money as well. Okay, Meta. So there goes Meta. It just fell back in a little bit. We're short right here, right now. Let's put some bids out on this name and try to cover a little bit, because we were just going to get short there against O's, right? 297 breaker upside there on Meta. It just came in. We told you we were waiting for that damn position to come in. So now what's up, Meta? Hopefully this can fall back in. I have no idea. We're short at look, we're short at 296.90. I'm literally, Obi, staring 40, 50 cents in the face and kind of laughing at it. Like, there's so much volatility in all of these names that when you get out, you're going to feel like, oh man, why did I get out? Like now it's $2 in the money. But like just right there, I'm actually out of half. We just covered half right there. We just got to fill at 296.50, something like that. So now we're short. Let's see if this will continue to pay out, man, because although Meta might be fine at this level, our stop, so we're short at 296.95. I was going to take this stop right here. 290, no, it's not even that high. It's that little wick, 20s. So wicking above 297 into the 20s that we did back at 1 o'clock. And the only reason is we're into this area right here of consolidation that we've bounced around for before. We got that tick up. the market is doing these things. So hopefully we will be able to support a downside move here. The market has wicked many times like this, up and down. Like Neil might have picked a good day to not to be here because like he talks about getting wicked out all the time. Like honestly, today is almost a maddening amount of times that the stocks have gone up and down past key levels. And then just like that, I mean, is Amazon back to 130? I mean, I guess there's nowhere near it with this market the way it is now. No. So this is for sure the biggest fail for me today would be that writing down that we like the 130, talking about it all day, and then not having that 130 short right there. So that's a little bit of a problem.
That's a big lesson for me today because I was like, I had a couple levels. We talked about the 130. We talked about the 129. I did get short, but I started shorting. What did I short? Let me check back in. Okay, so yeah, I think I remember shorting 127 halves and then 128s and then 129s. Like I shouldn't even be getting involved until the 129 and then sure, get stopped out on the 129, but 130 is the real level. And then we see that crazy price action at that 129.75 that kind of confirms that 130 may not break. Right, and I'm kind of reliving that, and I'm like, well, that could have been an absolutely banger opportunity with almost no risk. Like you're pretty much risking a few pennies there at that kind of price action, and then sure, maybe you're risking that 130 as well for the backside short. But clearly, that 130 level, very very heavy. We talked about why those sellers come in again today with that market tailwind, right? We kind of failed to follow through past 14.4, and then that 130 those 130 sellers come right back in, and then straight quadrunk all the way down to 127. So about 3 points of a move, almost 3/4 of the ATR on Amazon comes in off of that 130 level. So yeah, I got to be a lot more patient. If we're spending so much time and effort, kind of putting in these levels, writing it down on the sticky, it's not worth it to get involved anywhere before. That's what I'm finding. It's just like being patient, patient for those levels is definitely coming into. I guess those lessons are definitely coming into view there as I'm getting practically chopped up by not exercising patience, right? So we learn lessons every day. There is some acceleration to the upside there, Sean, as Tesla is ripping right towards that 208 right there. The market kind of doing a little bit of a bounce. This new candle pushing last candle's high right there, about 40 pennies away from that 208 on Tesla. Let's see if we can even make it there. 30 pennies coming in real hot. Let's see if we can make that last quarter. Like I said, maybe a little bit of pressure coming in off of this 206. We like that 206, 205 area from before, 206.70-ish. We got involved once again right there at that 206 half on Tesla there, and as well as that 127 on Amazon. So have we talked much about oil today, Sean? We know that XOM and CVX both had earnings today, and I was not involved. I definitely had a level written down here. Sean, what does that level say?
XOM 109.
And what does this chart say?
It says that you should be up $1 million.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I would have gone long, maybe I would have gone short, but clearly that 109 was a great place to interact with. And yeah, so didn't really have that, but take a look at this. We kind of, we break below yesterday's lows, earning reaction lows as well, hold heavy on the VWAP, and now we're churning and holding quite peculiarly on top of this 105. Take a look at this. Failure to follow through on this 105 on XOM as VWAP stays heavy. So going into next week or even the close, let's see what we do with this 105, whether we close above or below. Who knows? But it seems like we're getting a little bit of a wiki action underneath that 208 there, Sean. So we might be catching a little bit of a sell.
I might be catching a cold. This market's too chilly right now. But okay, so we just got some more out there on Meta. Like honestly, the fact that I have to sit here and be like, at 330, what's the number, Brendo? 635 to sell right now. So just update for you on the imbalances. 635 million to sell, and the reason why I say that is, may affect positions heading into the close. It's a Friday. It's not the third Friday. As far as I know, there could be some index action, but nothing major today, as far as I know. But what we're getting at there is, I just want to talk about Meta a little bit. I told you our stop is 297.25. So whole bunch of these outs are 70s, 60s, things. Okay, here we go. Look, I'm fine getting out here. It just means we're going to wind up being flat eventually on this trade because of the risk to reward. We're out of half of it now, as we just kept on shorting. We actually re-shorted again right there. Just frustrated that the moves aren't happening huge, but happy that we're able to scalp some out. Like, it's just, the problem is when you're scalping it out, it's not a super, first of all, see, it's not a super profitable idea because, now we're out again, because it's like you're spending too much mental capital looking at all of these trades. And it's like, we just, in and out. Like, now the move wants to go to the upside. Look at the futures. Like, it's not doing anything. And Meta just does this FU candle. I mean, you know, it is what it is. And it's just frustrating right here into the close, which is why we're not trying to put on any hero trades or doing anything insane like that. I'm waiting for 207. I know you got a great trade on Tesla, so that's fantastic. But I'm waiting to see, we've made money on this. We only have 20% left of this trade, or 20%, 40% left of this trade, and looking to get more. And actually, we could probably get a little bit more right now. I was going to wait for O's to hit, but we've just come into, oops, I just typed in Intel. We're waiting for O's. We could take something right now, right here, cross out and take, there we just crossed and got 66s there. So we'll take a little bit again, just because that's the same level that we had shorted before. This way, it will allow us to scalp something out if it comes back down here, again, to make a little bit of profit on these scalps, because I would love, look at that, I would love for this to come back in, and just right there, 66s to 36s, do we get it? Oh, that's where I'm bidding, I thought. There it is, into that, so right there. Like, just as much as it's not a huge trade, we'll slap a fail, but right there, look. Like, doesn't that, you know, if you have to do that
solid
to make, that's 30s, so that's 66s out to 30s, right? So 36 cents right there. Like, it's honestly, Obi, it's just like, that's what's happening, and then you wait for the bigger trades, and then the rest of your trade gets stopped out on the next move. But here it comes back in. I don't, like, look, Meta, okay, Meta's still upside, but like, what was that all about? You know, to have waited there and got that short. What a great scalp out right now if you had the 298 short. And the 298 short is obviously going to be better because we hadn't been up here too much. We talked about that today. I apologize for all of these crazy wicks. I just got a message from Michael Noss. He is confirmed to come in today. So we're going to talk about tech strength, obviously with the NASDAQ being positive. Meta coming back in, Tesla obviously making that move even lower right now. Rivian, I'm on, honestly, we could just start taking some out on Rivian here as it's not looking the greatest. Microsoft has been a decent trade today, but that's also breaking lower as well. We tried the long here actually on Microsoft because I thought we would play strength, like we said, in NASDAQ right now and in Softy, but Microsoft is below now where it was on its earnings day. So before its earnings day. So there's the big bump up for Softy, and it gave everything back, unfortunately, right back to the 50 period. So there's us closing on the day of earnings, 330.50. Then there's the move up, and then the last couple days pushing back in, and again now taking down those lows, 70 cents in the money on Tesla.
Yeah, what's your opinion on when earnings start to sell off like that on some of the larger caps? Because we saw the kind of the opposite a few earnings seasons ago, where like names would bid up, hold their earnings prices, and kind of continue off of those. And now we're kind of starting to see a little bit of the opposite there. As we know, markets have been selling off, but the earnings are being sold off. So what's your opinion on that in terms?
Well, I mean, it's like what we said before, but when we wrote on of our Amazon note, it's almost the exact same thing. Market has faded every single report pretty much throughout this whole week, right? I mean, we had one of the greatest reports for Microsoft. So to answer your question real quickly, is I just think the market is just way overheated, and the market was rallied by which stocks? Tech. And basically the 7 names, you just have to hear from, I think, what is it, just Apple left? So it's like all these names rallied the market. So the problem is that if they rally again, it's a great opportunity, I feel like, sell off those good reports, watch it move, come back into the downside. And that's what happened again with Amazon here. We'll talk about that more when we get back from Brendan.
Just reading a story here, guys, on Google and Anthropic. So this, you got to rewind the tape to October 4th. I remember talking about this when it initially came out, but Anthropic is an AI startup, and at that point, they were just in early, quote unquote, early stage discussions on a $2 billion potential investment behind them. Well, guess what? That's coming from Google. So it's Google that comes through with $2 billion for Anthropic.
Okay, so I was just looking at the Google price there. First of all, let's go Tesla. Hopefully this can come down. We just touched, again, 207 there, putting us, again, like just off that trade, 70 cents. So hopefully that will come back in and we will get our bid down here at 206.80. So that's what we're bidding right now. I was just looking at Google because I sort of thought, you know, that there could be something there, but there's not much happening. And then Obi and I looked at each other and was like, this is bouncing off VWAP quite nicely right now. Look at this stupid market. Wicks all the way up there, then just cut. Like, why did you do that? Why did you do that only to come back down and basically test those bottoms again? Like, what?
How can she slap?
How could she slap?
How can she slap?
You know, one of the greatest memes or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That's really old, but yeah, you know, it's like, what's up with that?
Wow,
and now you're just gonna head down again. So it's like very, very tricky market. But I'm just glad that everybody's here with us. And make sure you do this.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
Someone just said very cringe price action, and I believe that is kind of what I'm feeling right now. It's like you're looking at the charts, you're like, ugh, like yuck. You know, like there's not much happening right now, back and forth. We, as day traders, we want, and this kind of goes back to the earnings question a little bit there, we want direction. We want trends to be followed. We want momentum to hold, you know, and we might have got that earlier on, but it doesn't, in my opinion anyways, doesn't seem to be hitting right now. So, all right, so let's just keep on looking at this as we go. Oh, do you see something that says Sharif, like and subscribe on there or something like that? You have to hit it.
Like,
Yeah.
subscribe,
Right there.
share the show that makes things on the heart of the
We didn't fill his quota for today, did we?
No, I don't. I mean, unless they
So
hit it on the midday show.
in the next 20 minutes.
You might have to hit it at least one, just one more time.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
All right,
save it because
It is a Friday. We'll
yeah,
give
and
him
the
a
thing
break.
is like Sharif gets all mad and everything like that. You know, it's like he has all this fancy hair and all that stuff to make sure that he's ready to go. You know, and all that. And then he shaved his beard and. You know, anyways, this guy's too much. All right, here we go. Nice move to the downside right now for Tesla. And I'm going to say scrap that. I don't need this 206.76. We'll take that right now at 206.85. There it is. It's a nice move back down. I'm sorry to talk about it because I know you are long still. But there it is right there. And we never battle each other. That's not how this works out. I didn't even know that you were long.
Yeah, I actually got out most of the profits on that 207, right? So-
Perfect. Look at this move back down. We are now in a dollar club off of that last reload right there on Tesla. So again, really patient with that one. Good reloads happening on TSLA. I believe we have to go handle some business.
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
All right. I was just, thanks for that, Brendo. I was just looking at, again, now Tesla's really starting to ramp up just a little bit here, back into the downside. And then just some quick talk. What's up, Brandon?
Both Match, MTCH, and BMBL. Elon Musk saying Twitter, or X, is going to be a quote-unquote full-fledged dating service by 24 and 25.
He's
Bobby, why are you signing up for a Twitter account all of a sudden? What's going on over there?
I don't know. Maybe getting too excited there, but yeah, no, he's really putting in work. He talked about how X is going to be the one in I guess the all-inclusive app that kind of has everything. And here's the thing about Elon, man. The dude does not give up. So if he says something, he's definitely gonna be pushing quite hard for that. But yeah, we get that nice move on Match and I guess Bumble as well on the day. Bit of a nice slow and steady bleed off, and then that news kind of brings it right in. Let me see if we were doing any sort of R-vol going into the move. No, the only R-vol really coming in with that kind of move right there. there. But here's the thing, we kind of reclaim that the level at which that news kind of came in, and we're chopping and churning in and around that 34. So again, it's all speculation as of right now. Nothing. X hasn't actually done anything, but you know, the market is always forward-looking. So maybe we will get some nice action there off of that news on both Bumble and Match. But yeah, definitely interesting that again, X may or may not become that app, but the effort is definitely there by Elon and his teams there. We're getting another lick grab of the lows there on the NQ.
I don't want to
Sean.
talk about it, really. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I know.
I have my stop in for the Tesla. It hasn't necessarily been knocked out yet. Yeah, let's see whether or not this bounce once again. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now the 6th time attempting to break through into new lows here on the day, just in this consolidation, just on top of this 14 to 20-ish area, kind of the lows being at. We talked about the lows were 14 to 12, and we only get down about a point and then rebid right away. So here comes Tesla right there. Probably going to stop me out soon enough out of that move. But like I said, we took off most of that position at that 207 right here. Sure, we kind of let it go into that 207.80, and yeah, there it is. We just popped out of that position, and it seems like we rebid as soon as we popped out. So that's fine. We talk about I think you had it right. The level being an area, not the actual area itself, right? I was waiting for the holes.
Yep.
The whole number at the 208, kind of looking for a push through, but we can't even get that far. We get into that 208 and come right back in. So that's a great short on your part there, Sean, coming right back into the range, giving us that chop as the market continues to do what it's been doing for the later half of the day and selling off quite strongly here. And yeah, I have no idea where we're going to be ending up. But it seems like if we're going to stay this volatile, Sean, we only got about 15 minutes till the close. We could very well just close in and around these prices, right? Who knows? But
lower.
Very, very muted action on the day, other than the morning pop and that evening kind of fail. We got below this morning consolidation. That's pretty much all we really did here. A lot of these names still chopping and churning around VWAP as they have been all day. Apple hasn't really gotten anywhere. Same thing with Google, same thing with Amazon, right? We talk about Amazon kind of having day one earnings, pretty crazy move, but take a look at what it's done in the bigger picture on the day today. So look right there, the opening price right here. Let me just check my level 2 right there to get the accurate opening price. 126.20, and take a look at where we are. We're only 127.20, so not even a full, almost a quarter VWAP, I guess. We've only moved around off the open. Haven't really done too much. VWAP is staying. Sorry, what did I say? Quarter ATR out the open in terms of the day's move where we're potentially going to close. Let's see what we do in the next 15 minutes, but it seems like this 127 hold has been decent. We talked about how significant that 126 was. We still never really got there, so maybe next week we save that 126 for next week potentially, but whether or not we hold above these prices going into next will be very interesting. Now, I did remember that Amazon was red on the week, right, Sean? Yep. So Amazon was red on the week, and today or yesterday, off of those earnings, it went red to green. So again, this is all in retrospect, kind of looking back at it. If the week goes red to green off earnings on a Friday, I think we can expect a little bit of buying pressure if those earnings levels are held out the open.
On Monday.
No, today. That's kind of what happened today.
Oh, that's kind of what happened
I'm just
today.
going back.
I
I'm reflecting on the move
yes.
that kind of happened. But yeah, these prices will definitely be important for next week, in my opinion. That 125, 126, that 130, clearly kind of all of these levels, definitely decent places to transact at on Amazon. But yeah, some crazy moves. Everything pretty much where we opened off at is what I'm getting at here. You can kind of see a lot of these. We can just refresh the page here. A lot of these names, take a look at that Google. 0.11. Softy 0.04, Apple 0.66. So you haven't even moved 1% on some of these large caps. Look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA's barely budged, 0.03. So yeah, Intel, AMD is the only ones who are really catching a little bit of a bid. Meta as well, and of course Amazon has earnings. So yeah, you might get some RVol, which we definitely saw there on Amazon, and Tesla maybe almost 1%, but everything pretty much flat on the day, and we haven't really gone anywhere.
No, we haven't really done anything. All right, lowest close, look at this. Thanks to Adair, and I saw this earlier from Gunjan here. The Russell 2000 index is on track for its lowest close since 2020. So you're right here, man. These small caps, they just can't get out of their own way either. With expensive rates and everyone selling out the big names, these small cap names definitely getting hit. I was actually thinking IWM might be in for a buy at some point, like lowest level since 2020. By the way, Gunjan has to come on the show, man. Like, I keep telling her that. All right, so, all right, nice move down to the downside right now, 206. You just mentioned that for Tesla. I feel like this is an excellent area to get out, man. I mean, we've already sort of danced around here a couple of times. We are at the day's low. We just had a pretty hero short there off the 200 period moving average. Normally, a pullback into the 50 is great. We got the pullback down. I feel like not taking any out here is a little irresponsible. We could trail it though with a 206.50, but then we're giving up a little bit because here it comes, wow, really bleeding in right now. These imbalances, yeah, join me after, it'll be a fun time. All right, so the market recap show with Michael Noss here. We'll go over everything. I have some more stats to talk about as well on that, but this is what's gonna come through here. We don't have the numbers yet, but the imbalances will hit in just 1 minute, and then we'll see where these names continue to fly down to. But there it is right now. I think, honestly, heading into these imbalances, let me see if we get a 206 fill. I'm going to bid 206 flat right now. If it comes in, great, we'll take the fill. If not, we'll kind of let it go back up to the upside. And I hate doing this, especially when we're really close to these imbalances. Like, I don't really like being in position, so getting a little bit uncomfortable, sitting in this short right now, which kind of makes sense for me. That's 206.60. Feel like we could put a stop in right there if we really did want to. Where are we? That would be $1. Let's just do that. 206.60. What are we? 206.66 exactly. We'll stop out of that 100%. So we're either going to get out at 6. So it's 30-cent game right now. We're either going to get out at 206 bid, or we're going to get out at 206.60 on these imbalances. Let's just hope we don't get both of them. So in 10 seconds, we are getting these imbalances. So let's see what happens. We'll put it like this and then see if we can watch some of these names. And there it is right now. We are now out on these imbalances. It doesn't look like Tesla wants to go anywhere. Hopefully it hits us at 206 flat, and then we'll see. We'll wait to see from Brendo which way this number is right now. But let's go. Make a move back down. Give me that 206, and then we'll cancel our stop. Did we get it? No, we did not. We're at 206s. No, it went to 05, Obi. Get lower and give us a fill right now. Oh no, did we miss that by literally 4 cents?
Wow.
That would suck.
Yeah.
I still think it'll come in right now. It's only 320 to sell right now. So, all right, I do that. Oh no, I just went to 11 right now on this name. Trying not to get stopped out on the high side. That's not a big sell number. MFC, Google's a bid right now. So I missed that. All right, so Google is starting to bid itself back to the upside right now. So we'll pay attention to see if anything hits right there for Google. TD's a buy. I don't know, something there about the banks, maybe a buy in the bank there. That's TD Canada. Amazon there is a sell, although going back up.
I stayed long through that.
Dude, missing that Tesla's a killer there.
Yeah.
Oh, it says I'm out, but I did not get filled.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh no, I just did get filled. I'm out. It took. Look, that just ticked right there. I didn't even realize. I looked on the board first. So what a fail that was. Like, how dramatic was that? We miss our bid by 3 cents, and then we got to pay up 50 cents after that. So not good, but not bad either. That's what happens sometimes. So life of a trader, but still a good trade. That's $1 clean, right? So happy with it. Nice. End the day with a good trade. So.
Yeah, definitely. That 206, Sean, definitely a great area to kind of interact with. So Amazon holds that 127. We were already kind of long going into the inbound, looking for a potential move back to the upside there as that 127 kind of held, and we got a nice little rebid on the NQs as well, kind of piecing off some of this position here as we kind of held. We did hold above 127. Now Sean did say that we have a bit of a sell imbalance, so yeah, we kind of disconnected from that imbalance right now as Amazon comes out with a sell imbalance and it starts to tick up. So yeah, definitely going to be piecing out of this one. Got to stay wary going into the end of the day as well. We did get out of the Tesla. Okay, so you know what? I am going to start piecing out off of this a little bit more aggressively if it's going to come down in like that. And yeah, so here's the thing. I'm done with that one for today. We talked about the mistakes that we made. We made some better trades after hopping onto TMS. We kind of talked about. I was talking to Sean about maybe why that plays a factor. Maybe it's a mental thing or not. But again, we try to keep it. I guess keep ourselves as sane as possible, regardless of whether we're trading live or TMS. The whole point is to put in the right reps, follow the process, and get better at managing risk. And that's something that I'm working on. I clearly struggle with this as of right now. But again, it's a work in progress, and I'm happy to kind of be going through this progress with everybody here live. But yeah, I got to stop making some of these mistakes over and over again. Kind of getting lost in the sauce. I know you guys haven't heard that one in a while, but I was definitely lost in the sauce today, trying to exercise my short bias onto very, very strong Amazon earnings. So clearly, when I'm married to an idea and maybe a little attached to the ticker, that can be a little recipe for disaster, and that's kind of what happened today. But we hopped back in on the TMS and took some good shots, took some good reps. Could be a little bit better, but again, we tried to recalibrate our mindset and try to put in some good reps so that for Monday we are kind of carrying over that winning mindset. We get a couple of dubs underneath our belt and carry forward. And yeah, I think I want to speak on that a little bit more because I don't really play too many sports anymore.
Okay.
But I know you coach you coach baseball, right? Yep. So the only thing I can kind of relate to is like getting in the reps, putting in the practice before the big game.
You play video games.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I think
so that's what I'm relating it to. Just like sports, just like any sort of competition, you want to get in the good reps, you want to get in the good practice, and you want to treat it very like it's a serious game, right? You're playing against some of the smartest algos, some of the most advanced and elite players in the world, and this is the arena to do it, right? Sure, we can talk about FX being a much bigger and the biggest market in the world, but the U.S. equities are not far behind that. And you are playing some of the most elite players on the street when it comes to some of these games.
You're not even playing people anymore. That's the other problem,
for sure.
Is that
you see some of this price action, and you can tell. You watch price action long enough, you're like, that is not humanly possible.
No.
Some of this price action, and it's like, okay, well, we know algos are on the board, so we don't want to necessarily fight them. We got to come up with ways to really sidestep some of this algo craziness that we've been seeing. But again, patience is a good way to do that, I think.
Yeah.
Right? We talk about getting chopped up, but yeah, today was probably full of algos going into Friday. Big earnings, kind of cooling off. We had Softy, Google, Meta, Amazon, and I think you said the last one left is Nvidia, or I guess
Apple.
Apple, right? Yeah. Apple. Apple is the last one left. So we are kind of cooling off some of the bigger tech names when it comes to earnings. November 2nd. So yeah, that's literally what? That's next week.
That should be.
That's next Thursday. Yeah. That's next Thursday. So there it is. So we might be catching some of those moves, but got to preserve the mental as best as possible, and let's see if we can catch the tail end of this earnings season a little bit better than we did the front end.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Monty, I coach Little League girls, all girls team Little League baseball. Here it is right here for anybody interested, and I'm going to always talk about this. So here it is right now. This is the team here. This is my daughter. They're called the Diamonds. There's actually more than this. I don't know where they all were on this tournament day, but there it is right there. So it's a High Park Little League team. And we actually have winter workouts starting pretty soon as well. So that should be a lot of fun. There's a lot. Here's me again. Oh, here's my kid. That's went to blue.
You guys go all season. So what's winter like? You go to an indoor field? Okay. All right.
Yeah, here I am telling me. You see, I told you, with my hands, teaching with the hands.
Doing the
right there.
Sean, the big coach there, doing some coaching.
Yep, trying to do some coaching in that one. But Ford, I mean, just to look at this one here coming into the close, Ford still below $10. What a disgrace this stock was today. Straight to the downside, never really got going. Look at got going to the downside. That was a good opportunity at 11:30. So this is VWAP right here, the 200 and the 50. So you're coming right into a good little level there at about 1040, 1050 for that short. So I think like that definitely would have been something there. And then the other name that I was a little bit, my number one stock today is going to be Intel. As you can see, we actually hit this off the open there on a nice move to the upside. And then we missed. We actually had this short right here. But we got stopped out, couple pennies too high. We were playing off 80s. It went to 86 and then did this. So we didn't have that, but that's Intel again, $36. You were talking about looking at key levels heading into tomorrow, which would be Monday, of course, for the market sense, that you want to look at key levels. Intel 36, definitely something to be looking out for there, and 35 down near the bottom. Okay, we only have 2 minutes left, Obi, so I'm going to head over. You're going to wrap this up. Yep. I think you're well able to. You talked for quite a while there. So, all right, thank you so much for joining me here today. So we'll do this. Props. We'll do this. And I'll leave it with you, man. Good job here in the afternoon. A minute and a half left. I'm going to go get set up at the big desk.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Take a look. Market's rebidding. So we got that 206 bounce on Tesla finally. We kind of stop out on that dump. That 206 bounce comes in, 207, kind of back to the upside. But we kind of talked about this. Only about a few seconds. Got about a minute left for the close. I'm getting ready to hit that countdown timer, but we kind of talked about the ES and the NQ very likely going to be closing in and around some of this consolidation. We've been pretty indecisive for the past, what is this? When did this kind of chop start? 1 o'clock. So almost for 3 hours, we've been just chopping and churning in about a 60-point range on the NQs. So yeah, a little bit of indecisiveness. Definitely next week is going to be jam-packed, full of opportunity, in my opinion. But yeah, let us know how your day was in the chat. And with only about 30 seconds left, it's been happy to have you. It's been happy to be. I'm happy to be here, filling in for Neil. Again, he'll be back on Monday. And with only about 15 seconds and Adara on the bell, where's the countdown? Oh, there it is. Okay, all right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to our production team. Thank you to Ramin and Fabian. Thank you to Brendan. Thank you to Kat. Thank you to Adara. Thank you to Sharif for making this possible. And we hope you guys learn something new, learn what to do, learn what not to do. We try our best to keep it real here as much as possible. And yeah, hope you guys learned something. Are you guys ready over there, or? Okay, all right. So as they get ready, I'm just watching this kind of price action going into the close. We did rebid some of those prices. Look at that 128 coming in after the close, right? So a bit of a residual pressure coming in. But you know what? I'm done for the day. Thank you for having me. Once again, I will see you next week. But don't go anywhere. We're passing it off to the big desk with Sean and Brendo.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Market Recap.